Now, last year on this stage, we spoke about McDonald's and the Omnicom deal, which came together. And since then, McDonald's is doing really pretty good. I'd like to bring up, I think we're going straight to Brian Nienhaus. WEA, or We Are Unlimited, is the McDonald's agency, and Anja Carroll, who's the head of marketing, planning, and connections of McDonald's. We had some great dialogue last night. Please have a seat, folks. And you were great. That was great dialogue. You want to stand?
Yeah, I think so.
Because we moved this around. We did it before. Okay. All right. Well, we move it to the
I'll
side.
help stagehand this with you. How about that?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Here, we'll move this onto this way. It's kind of the art of stage management. I'm going to leave it to you guys. Thanks.
Great, great. So good, well, I guess it's actually afternoon. I am Brian Nienhaus. I'm the president and CEO of We Are Unlimited, an Omnicom agency, and this is my client partner and co-presenter, Anja Carroll, who is the VP of Marketing for McDonald's US. So this afternoon, we wanted to share a few reflections with you on the marketing partnership that we're building with McDonald's that has a lot of traditional elements, certainly, but also a lot of very modern and new and refreshed marketing dimensions. This morning, we'll go through a few of what we believe are some success factors of how these partnerships can be established and can realize the potential. We'll share a few examples of the work that we've done together. After all, this is McDonald's. It needs to be entertaining and fun, so we'll share a few examples that we hope you like. And then we'll close by sharing just a few thoughts on how we think the digital place-based media evolving opportunity can play a role in marketing for McDonald's going forward. A last note, we do not believe we have fully realized the potential of our marketing model or optimized it. We work very hard every day, client and agency together, to help realize those goals and realize the benefits that we intend. But we feel like we've made a lot of progress, and we'll share a little bit of that with you today.
Thanks, Brian. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to be with you today in New York. So as Brian said, this is a new model for us, right? And clearly we don't have everything figured out yet. But one of the reasons we wanted to look at a new model is there was a lot of complexity, and we all understand the level of complexity in the industry today. And it really, really created a complicated and costly integration model for us as a client, right? So yes, there was a drive for simplicity as we thought about what a new model could look like. But really at the core, we wanted to get back to doing the stuff that we were good at, right? So in a sense, we had become general contractors and integrators across our agency ecosystem. And was that the best use of our time, folks that have been classically trained in driving brand strategy and marketing strategy and vision, and most importantly, driving just exceptional seamless customer experience. So that was really the driver behind why we set out to create a new model for our agencies. And what we did, and it sounds like you talked about it a little bit last year, is obviously brought everything under one P&L, all core agency service capabilities under one P&L. That obviously gives us one throat to choke, as we like to joke with Brian, but we never choke his throat. We never do. We never do. And it drives simplification for us from a communication standpoint, as well as efficiency. And most importantly, as I said, it's about strong collaboration and partnerships across those core services to deliver excellent customer experiences.
So in many ways, you might say that bringing everything back under one house, media, creative, retail, is a bit back to the future and very much akin to what some of integration models that might have been 20 years ago. I think, but hopefully you'll see over the next few minutes that you'll recognize it is a different approach. It is about aligning people, process, and technology against a very specific set of KPIs and priorities. It is about eliminating waste. It is eliminating duplication and leveraging all the best of expertise in planning and in specialized kind of capabilities against those key marketing goals for the client. And so what we look at it is it's about designing for efficiency. So yes, it is about creative, media, retail, social, digital, embracing the importance of analytics in our work and everything that we do, making CRM an essential part of the work, but it is also about aligning all those capabilities for efficiency of both time and cost, and finding new ways ultimately to innovate across all the channels. And that means in every opportunity that we can find a new, more efficient our new, more effective model. We're going to embrace it, we're going to test it. And I think that's very much what this body represents, the opportunity to take new, reinvented out of home and apply it against new and modern marketing challenges.
So our focus on the customer hasn't changed. We've always been focused on the customer, but one of the underpinnings of why we were searching for a new model is how do we get to know that customer more deeply, right? In today's environment, there is so much data out there, and how do we grab it and really drive meaningful insights into the marketing that we do? And so it was about understanding them at a much deeper level. One of the things that sparked us with the We Are Unlimited model was this notion of human intelligence and how we bring that to bear in everything that we do, right? Smarter ways to connect with our customers on their terms, engaging and inspiring them to love our brand just a little bit more than the other guys, because after all, that's really what marketing's about. It's that simple.
So we'll cover off a few of the elements of success, and they'll include everything from the idea of leveraging analytics and data in the work that we do. It is about understanding the customer more deeply, understanding culture and how it influences and infects the brand's opportunity. We'll talk a little bit about creative excellence, because ultimately everything we do on our very unique collaborative strategy model is all in service of doing great creative marketing ideas. And because we believe that creativity is the most powerful force in business, and because McDonald's was a brand built on famous and memorable advertising in all forms, we very much focus around that as we go forward. So first, as Anja said, we are very much about what we call human intelligence. It's about a deeper, richer understanding of the customer. Certainly it begins with understanding their tastes and their interest in value and variety and quality, but it goes much further than that. It goes to the areas of understanding their lives, their interest and involvement in entertainment, understanding their expectations, their disappointments, their joys, how they interact with their families, how they interact with their community. All of these are important dimensions of understanding the customer better. We certainly apply a rich understanding of analytics and how that supports the idea. So when we get into an understanding of the customer, it's always fortified with a data quantitative approach in understanding that customer. I think it's also really important to recognize that McDonald's is a brand for everyone. Every customer, on average, is no more than 3 miles away from a McDonald's somewhere in the country. And 26 million Americans come into a McDonald's restaurant in the United States every single day. So we are a brand that targets a very broad part of culture and society. Really, every single customer, except for some very extreme vegans in Southern California, I think, are our customer base. So we're talking about a very diverse, multicultural audience. We're talking about urban, suburban, and rural customers.
So for us, it's not about getting data anymore, right? With 26 million customers a day, we have lots of data. Some would say too much data or tons of data, right? So our focus in recent years has been really on driving smart insights, usable insights out of the data that we have and identifying those to create really rich profiles of our customers that allow us to target not only our messages, but also where we place media. All that's much smarter, right? So not long ago, if you think about how we used to deploy campaigns, and we deploy a lot of campaigns, yes, pretty much every day of the year we're deploying a campaign, they used to be finite, right? So they were in the can at a certain point. But today we actually look at campaigns very differently. To us, they're almost like live Petri dishes where we are testing and optimizing almost in near real time. And that is a level of flexibility and a level of measurement discipline that we've brought forward into our process internally. And it requires a lot of data, good data, and effective use of data, right? And it is driving waste, significant waste, out of our marketing ecosystem. And we're obviously, it becomes sort of like a drug, right? When you find that way to be more cost effective with what you do, that you want to keep doing those same things to motivate the customers to come into the restaurant and make a difference.
We believe in this idea that we call cultural foresight, and it is part of our integrated collaborative strategy model. We have a team of cultural strategists, yes, there is such a thing called a cultural strategist, and social strategists that are monitoring those moments every single day they're analyzing them, they're reporting on them, and they're leveraging those insights in all the work that we do. We actually monitor over 600 different signals of culture every day through our Sparks and Honey partner, and we track those and leverage those in, for example, they might be our fuel for our creative brief on a particular project. In some cases, they might be the context or the support of a creative idea that we're taking to market. And then there are also other opportunities that are not part of the marketing plan, and they're opportunistic cultural situations that create opportunity for the brand. And I'd like to share with you one of those examples. So for those of you who may not know who these characters are, these are Rick and Morty, and they're from an Adult Swim show that runs on Turner, and on the Cartoon Network, I believe. And the case here is, we didn't have this in our marketing plan, but last spring an opportunity presented itself where our job became understanding this rabid group of customers and engaging in that dialogue and adding value to it authentically from our own voice, but letting them steer the dialogue and adding value. So let me share a little bit of how that worked.
Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Yeah, I'd like to get a 10-piece McNugget and a bunch of the Szechuan sauce, like as much as you're allowed to give me.
When cult favorite TV show Rick and Morty calls on you to bring back a sauce that's been retired for 20 years, you only have two options. One, say nothing and avoid the fans' requests.
And I'll go out and I'll find some more of that Mulan Szechuan teriyaki dipping sauce, Morty.
Or two, give them the chance to travel through time and bring back the sauce themselves. With Rick and Morty's rabid fan base, staying true to the show is key. So we did our research, learned Rickisms, and studied up on how, when, and where to give Szechuan sauce its triumphant return. We started by reaching out to the show's co-creator and the voice of Rick and Morty a week before the show's third season premiere. We sent him a personal jug of the elusive sauce, and he took to the internet to spread the news. Fans went wild. But what they didn't know was that they too would soon have a chance to taste that sweet, sweet sauce. Across Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit, we posted cryptic teasers. Fans quickly decoded our plan to meet us on Twitter the night of the premiere. Hours before the premiere, we launched a Periscope livestream event to engage fans. Every retweet, like, or comment resulted in pages being removed from a calendar that counted up from when the sauce was released, 1998 to the present. Swapping props in and out as the months and years passed by, we kept users intrigued as we traveled through time. As fans engaged with us, they seemingly changed the course of history. Nearing the present day, just prior to the premiere, we surprised 3 lucky fans with their very own bottles of the much-desired sauce. And if you thought they were surprised, just imagine how we felt when the media got a hold of our story. You know what they say, good things come to those who ask.
That represents a partnership of Unlimited and Golan and the client, and we just kind of played a role through it and enabled it and let them and the fan base be all about it and let them be excited. And it was one of the most successful, high-performing social platforms in McDonald's history, and I think it got us a lot closer to that rapid fan base of several million Rick and Morty fans.
So the notion of fourth on the list of elements of success is context and content, right? And the synergy between. And clearly this isn't a new concept at all, but it's so much more accessible today, right? Accessible not only because of our new agency model, but accessible because we understand our customers so much more deeply today. And so when you think of our new model and you think about how creative and media work side by side in that model, they really can together pioneer the new tools and ad platforms at the same time, right? So when an idea is optimized for a media channel or vice versa, a lot of great things can happen. So we wanted to share with you this morning some examples of some current work in the marketplace for our new Buttermilk Crispy tenders. And if you haven't tried them, get them soon because they are selling that well.
They are.
Buttermilk Crispy Tenders presents Advice from Grandma.
You want to get rear naked choked? Go ahead. Give up your back from a half guard.
So we have at least one MMA fan in the room, right?
Buttermilk Crispy Tenders presents Advice from Grandma.
If you're not poning noobs, you are the noob.
Poll the room.
Yeah, exactly. So anyhow, who didn't get those? Who did not understand those? It's okay. It's okay. They're not necessarily meant for you. But they are meant for folks, and we actually do have ads for you as well. So anyhow, a little fun. But that is the magic of what you can do when the teams work together so closely. So one of my favorite topics is accountability, right? And the teams in the room know this, but working in retail is a blessing and a curse because you understand whether it's working immediately, right? Every day, every week, there's absolutely no question as to whether or not what you've done is going to succeed. And so, you know, the nice thing about this new model is that we embrace that together, right? So a cornerstone of our new partnership model was making sure that we had shared KPIs, and that translates all the way through to the agency compensation model. And it has required a different level and more discipline around how we measure our business and what's important drivers in the business. But it leaves no question for the team as a whole about what's important. We either succeed or fail together. And it focuses absolutely everybody on the team, across the team, on the metrics that make money, not only for us, but the agency. So that's been critically important about the design of the new model.
So finally, I just want to touch again on creative excellence. It is the centerpiece of everything we do. We try to bring it into every channel and into every idea. One of the most important places where creative excellence starts to actually be important for McDonald's is actually in the restaurants. So we're innovating in the restaurants and tying into the Vision 2020 plan that the client has laid out about reinventing the restaurants, the food, the experience. So these are all really important parts of creative excellence. But one of the opportunities that presented itself is as a major coffee brand, we wanted to introduce a new McCafe lineup that included espresso drinks. And so what we realized, there was a cultural insight about coffee that was unique in the space. People talk about coffee. They rant about it, they text about it, they talk about it in social media, and how important a role it plays in their lives and their attitudes. So immediately we found that there was a key insight about that we could take and leverage for McCafe, all about this moment of, I need that little bit of pause before I can take on the day or take on the next challenge. So we leveraged that, and the idea ultimately became, how do we find poignant media moments and intersect it with entertaining moments of coffee? And so for us, it was all about, but first, coffee. We launched the idea actually in a little bit non-traditional way. We released this new emoji into the space, and we're starting to see it be used in text and email and social spaces that was all about, just give me that moment. Does anyone recognize this moment? And so then, as we started to use video assets and leverage in a much more broad space, we did the same thing, but we told these moments where actually just give me that pause and then I can take it on once I'm fortified with a great cup of McCafe espresso coffee.
Nothing comes before coffee. That's why we're introducing a whole new line of espresso drinks from McCafe. Cafe quality from beans to espresso machines. Nothing comes before coffee.
How can I help you, gentlemen?
That's why we're introducing a whole new line of espresso drinks from McCafe. Cafe quality from beans to espresso machines.
How many New Yorkers recognize that last moment? I know when I've been trapped in the rain in New York and those umbrellas go for $20 a head.
Great to be here again today, and so hopefully you've heard a few nuggets about what is really important to us, that strong collaboration and partnership, and sure, it's with the agency, but it's also with our media partners as well, driving deeper customer insights that lead to better targeting and more relevant messaging, synergy between content and context, measurement, of course, accountability, and last but not least, creative excellence. That's what's important to us. Partners that actually support us in this journey and help us deliver consistently across these dimensions are going to win with us. I can't underscore the importance of attribution in our world and accountability, so that is really important. It's really important that we get closer and closer to tying direct to business outcomes as well. And believe it or not, many of you in this room might not realize that you heard 26 million customers a day. Through our restaurants, we actually live and breathe the power of digital and static place-based communication every day, right? Digital menu boards, soon to be outdoor digital menu boards. We're starting to convert our restaurants right now. So we know this business really, really well, and we're accelerating aggressively against what we can learn against this business and what data provides at a very granular level. So what I would say to you is keep up all the product and measurement advances. They're great. Keep them coming. Continue to invite us to partner with you on emerging opportunities. After all, there's really no faster way to increase your ad revenue from McDonald's than a successful proof of concept. So let's roll up our sleeves together. We're all open for business and make sure we continue to partner to create just unforgettable customer experiences. Thanks for having us today.
Really well done. Anja, thank you, and thank you for that guidance at the end there. In fact, I think, Brian, we've got some meetings coming up with some of our members where we'll do just what Anja asked. And not only will we educate you, but you've educated us today. This is terrific. The creative, the execution, KPIs, accountability is wonderful. So I thank you guys very much. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you. Thanks so much.